War maps show that this week in Ukraine, despite the Russian push into Bakhmut, ground was won and lost. The Russian military has stepped up its attacks along the front in the east, heading towards Bakhmut, in preparation for future offensive operations. In accordance with the most recent maps depicting the situation in Ukraine, this is said by the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, an independent think tank located in the United States. Russian tanks and armored vehicles were being destroyed by Ukrainian troops, according to Lieutenant Colonel Volodymyr Fedyo, a spokeswoman for the Ukrainian Ground Forces Command. However, Fedyo did note that Moscow still had access to a large reserve of resources. On Saturday, Newsweek reached out to the Russian Defense Ministry via email to inquire about any comments. Russian forces are reportedly preparing for larger-scale strikes in the Lyman direction, according to both Kiev-affiliated military observers and Fedyo, who added that Russia has increased assaults in the Kupiansk-Lyman and Bakhmut directions. Russian forces would likely launch both smaller offensive operations and larger offensive operations, according to the ISW, which was announced on Friday. The goal is to make Ukraine devote its diminishing resources to defensive operations. Moscow will increase its efforts to take Kupiansk in the next weeks, according to the research tank. According to one map from the ISW, Russian soldiers advanced southeast and south of Bakhmut towards the towns of Bodanivka and Klishchivka on January 18. Verifying territorial advances has proven to be a challenge for Newsweek. Russia has been fighting an attack north of Avdiivka since October, and a map from Friday reveals that their forces have occupied Vasil. This is all part of the Donetsk Oblast. Additionally, the image illustrates Russian advances north of Klishchivka and west of Donetsk city. At the same time, according to Ukrainian sources cited by the British publication The Financial Times, Russian forces are planning a massive offensive in Ukraine throughout the summer. The remaining portions of the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia oblasts, which Vladimir Putin claimed to have seized in September 2022 but which Moscow does not actually possess in its entirety, are what Moscow hopes to seize with this push. Russian soldiers will attempt to retake Kharkiv from their 2022 retreat, according to Friday's FT story. It seems that Russia's preparations from December, as revealed by the German publication Bild, are in line with their localized offensive operations in the oblasts of Donetsk and Luhansk. According to the ISW, Ukraine runs the danger of diverting scarce resources on offensive defenses, regardless of whether Russia achieves significant territory gains with this assault or not. According to U.S. sources, positional fighting will persist until 2026 and that Kiev will require maximum military aid this year and next. The battle in Ukraine is expected to last for a long time. The conflict, according to the ISW, could be tipped in either direction by decisions made in the West and Russia. They go on to say that the standoff is far from stable. This means that if Western help to Ukraine were to suddenly stop, Ukraine's defenses would surely crumble, and Russia's soldiers could push forward to the border of NATO. On December 25, 2024, Ukrainian forces are seen traveling in an armored vehicle in Bakhmut, Donetsk Oblast. Ukraine warned on January 19, 2024, that Russia will soon launch a fresh offensive along the Kupiansk-Lyman and Bakhmut routes.